is the concrete El Nino intervention strategy. The head of state, who held a meeting with multi-agency emergency response teams headed by Cabinet Secretaries, Council of Governors Chairperson Anwe Guru, Chief of Defence Forces Francis Ogola, Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome, among others at State House, Nairobi, says has operationalized the National Disaster Operations Center, which will incorporate with the Ministries of Transport, Health and the Council of Governors and the Kenya Defence Forces, among other stakeholders, to coordinate the emergency response.
After a back and forth pull and push and a blame game between the national government and the county governments over the ongoing El Nino rains, President William Ruto has finally risen to the occasion and constituted a powerful disaster response team to avert a looming humanitarian crisis.
We have concluded a meeting of the various multi-agency teams that are involved in assessing, managing, and providing leadership on the current situation that is going on in the country. The precipitation in the country, the rains, have resulted in an emergency situation in Kenya. Many roads across the country, especially in the northern part of Kenya, have been washed away. There are trucks stuck everywhere with food, medicines, fuel that is now unable to reach the destinations in various parts of the country, especially in northern Kenya.
To mitigate the effects of the heavy rainfall that continues to pound various places in the country, this disaster team has been given specific mandate, all geared towards saving lives and livelihoods. President Ruto has directed the disaster team to embark on immediate task of food distribution and repairs of the badly destroyed infrastructure.
Immediately, the National Disaster Operations Center has been rolled into place. Senior government officials will now move to the National Disaster Operations Center, including those from the various agencies, the military, the Ministry of Roads, the Council of Governors, and all the other stakeholders, including Ministry of Health, to make sure that we coordinate all the information, receive reports from various parts of the country, process that information, and make sure that adequate interventions are in place to manage the situations across the country, be it roads and opening of those roads, be it the situation of fuel or the situation of food.
With the Meteorological Department projecting the El Nino phenomenon to last until early next year, already more than 70 people have lost their lives and scores displaced. The head of state has instructed his cabinet to sit first thing next week to incorporate recommendations from the response team into a well-detailed action plan to manage the effects of the rains.
Unfortunately, we have lost 70 people across Kenya because of these rains, and about 36,160 households have been displaced so far. The Meteorological Department tell us that these rains will continue, and therefore we need to prepare ourselves for the emergency situation that is going to ensue.
Such response will require huge financial resources to supply aid to the affected Kenyans. President Ruto has called for a harmonious working relationship between the government and the private sector to effectively manage the situation.
The Treasury has been mandated to explore different mechanisms of funding for the requirements that will be needed so that we can have adequate resources to manage the situation.
Priority will be directed towards the adversely affected areas, with the disaster management team targeting to evacuate residents trapped in various places, unable to move to safer grounds or receive food and other personal effects due to the flooding. Military response has been activated to reach these places.
I have instructed KDF to provide their air service facilities to airlift any commodities required in different parts of Kenya, and especially the last mile deliveries in the counties that are now marooned by floods.
Individual ministries have been assigned specific response tasks that will be coordinated by the established disaster response and management team. Most notably, the Ministry of Health has been directed to ensure provision of clean water and medication to avert spread of diseases such as cholera that may arise due to the flooding. With the government and the county government appearing to read from the same script, President Ruto has advised Kenyans to remain vigilant and to move when they are required to safer places to save life. He maintains his government is more than ready to protect life and property. Henry Tendanyula, Look Up TV.